Well, good evening chaps. It's a nice sunny evening. I decided to make my way now. Got my carry-all, landing mat, centre pin and my tub of birdseed ground bait and black snail boilies, and I've decided to come out and head out this evening for a spot of barbel fishing once again on the River Kennet. And it is a glorious looking evening where it's supposed to cloud up and, well, supposedly cloud up. It looks pretty blue to me at the moment, so maybe they've got that forecast wrong, but it's supposed to be a bit breezy at some point. But yep, as I say, lovely evening. Decided to come out, chance my arm and see if I can pick up another nice Kennet barbel. It's been enjoyable thus far though. I think I've only had the one blank, and that was one previous trip on the Loddon, and then the trip after that on the Loddon again I had a fish over 8 pounds. So yeah, it's been really nice to have this run of form, and I do hope you chaps aren't finding the species I'm fishing for, the barbel fishing in general, boring, as it's, you know what it's like when you've got your mind set on, your focus on a species. You've got to go with your heart and your mind and fish for them. So I do hope you're not finding it boring that I am doing and creating and uploading quite a few barbel fishing videos for you chaps to watch. I hope you're still finding it enjoyable nonetheless. Anyway, yep, as I say, back out on the Vengeance barbel power rod and centre pin for a spot of barbel fishing. Anyway, gonna mosey on now and pick a swim. Gonna try a different area, and yeah, fingers crossed. If we catch, it's an added bonus. But as always, as I always say on all my trips, it's just nice to be bankside once again with the chance of a fish or two. Well, picked a swim. It's a rather nice looking area. You've got a bottleneck upstream, it opens up here. Nice coverage as you can see on the opposite bank. Even a few fish topping downstream, chub I'd suspect. And then it goes into a bottleneck again. Lovely bit of coverage at both banks. So yeah, decided to put all my money on this swim as such for this evening anyway. Fish into the cover of darkness. I'm most likely going to fish just over halfway across towards that nice feature, but not right into it. Just, as I say, 3/4 of the way across. A nice little bit of flow there, nice bit of pace, and fingers crossed might be a fish or two laid up underneath there. I'm not too fussed if I, pick up a few chub and maybe not a barbel tonight. It's all very, very enjoyable regardless, even though, to be fair, of course, I'd rather, if I am going to have chub, rather catch them on more balanced tackle that is more suitable. But yeah, fingers crossed that the pin does have a good old merry spin and click, and we pick up a chub or barbel. But yeah, obviously I'm setting my stall out once again, as per the previous videos, for barbel. It's a rather glorious looking swim. Anyway, gonna trickle some balls of birdseed and grilled hemp and nut ground bait in, and a few broken up black snail boilies. Let the swim settle for a little while and get cast out just as the light's starting to fade a bit more. Well, how's it going chaps? Decided to come out this evening. It's really gusty, so please do excuse any sound quality issues. I am only using the inbuilt mics on the camera and using an external battery pack, so I can't use an external microphone. so my apologies in advance if there is a bit of wind noise on this video. But I am back out, lovely conditions. Decided to come back out this evening and chance my arm at another Kennet fishing trip, and back out on the centre pin and Shimano Vengeance Barbel power rod, and just got the black snail boilies and the reliable birdseed and roast hemp and nut ground bait mixture. As I say, it's lovely conditions, very gusty though, an bit of the remnants of a storm moved in, and yeah, gusts are supposed to be on and off between 30 and 40 miles an hour, although I'm hoping it will ease down a bit obviously. But yeah, chomping at the bit to pick a swim and get fishing, and that's exactly what I plan to do. My apologies in advance if any of you are getting maybe bored of the barbel videos and me fishing for the one species at the moment, but I'm sure you guys are very much like myself. When you've got that mindset that you want to go after a particular species and it's really where you've got your heart set on, then you're going to go all out and fish for them. And as I say, my apologies if some of you are finding me fishing for just barbel at the moment perhaps a little bit boring. Anyway, as I say, got my centre pin, got my nice Shimano Vengeance power barbel rod, got the black snail boilies and the birdseed ground bait. Conditions are beautiful, couldn't want for better conditions really. It's humid, there's lots of cloud cover, and whilst it is a bit blustery, I'd say it looks good for a bite, but hey, you can try, and sometimes it doesn't always work out like that, does it? You can have the greatest conditions, and if the fish don't want to play ball, then you know it's not going to happen. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we, and let's go and find a swim to wet a line in. Well, greetings and warm salutations. Back out for another Kennet trip, but as always I like to be very upfront with you chaps. I'm on a run of blanks. I've had that nice patch that I had, and you always grab them with both hands, and then, you know, just like any waterway can do to an angler, it brings you back down with a sound bump to earth. Weather's certainly changed. Very clear conditions and going to be cool at night, between 7 and 8 degrees, so quite a drop compared to the temperatures that we have had recently. When we had that storm front move in, it was around about 17 or 18 degrees at night. But you know, as I always say, as I said on previous videos, I'm a glass half full type of guy, so you know, you can't catch them if you haven't got a positive mindset and you don't have a locked on mentality and keep trying different swims and trying to build up a topography of the riverbed and a kind of idea of the layout and schematic of the river and the sections that you're fishing. So you can't catch them if you're at home, and you certainly can't build up a picture of the topography of the riverbed and the areas they hold up if you're not out there giving it a go regardless. So out this evening, going to fish the swim behind me. It's a nice looking area, nice walking pace flow. We have had some rainfall on the previous evening, quite a reasonable amount, but you know, even then it's not really put the river up that much. But it's nice walking pace flow, nice bit of cover behind me, nice tree, and just probably about 20 metres down from there, or 15 metres, there's lots of sunken trees as well, so it's a good, I'm hoping at least, a good holding area for barbel and chub to be holding up. But saying that, as I made my way to this swim, literally past the area where there's snags, I saw a big furry brown chap on the other side, and it was a Mr. or Mrs. Otter, and come crashing through the reed bed, climbed up the bank and run off across the field. So yeah, always sows the seeds of doubt, doesn't it, as an angler these days. Fingers crossed it won't decide to forage about during the evening once I'm cast out, otherwise that will put the bockers on this swim. I'm expecting if that happens it will. But you know, as I say, going to be out again on the centre pin and the Shimano Vengeance power barbel rod. Same low resistance leisure setup that you've seen on all my barbel videos, and the black snail boilies wrapped in matching paste and glugged in the black snail glug, and a reliable birdseed and roast hemp, grilled hemp and nut ground bait. So that's the plan of attack. As I say, 3 blanks. You know, I like to make sure that I'm always open about my blanks, always truthful, because you know, at the end of the day, it's all very well to have a YouTube video channel and you can make it look very artificial if you keep just posting videos where you're catching, you're not mentioning the blanks. And I always, you know, if my friends ask me how you're getting on with your fishing, I'll be honest with them and always say, you know, yeah, out this evening, looks like it's going to be tough going. Fished last week, that was a blank. And I always like to be openly truthful about that, because as I say, it's easy to create an artificial scenario on YouTube where you don't, you know, tell people or show people that you've had blanks, or at least as I'm informing you that I have had blanks. And I think it's nicer because at the end of the day we're all human. I have my blanks, it's the way it goes as anglers, you know. I'm sure you're well aware yourself, guys. Sometimes you get a extraordinarily good rub of the green and it's quite unbelievable, and other times the river, as I say, brings you back down to earth with a solid thud. Anyway, light's fading. I'm going to get my rod set up, get a little trickle ground bait in, and cross my old fingers and my toes, and hopefully the water witch smiles and brings me a bit of lady luck, and that old pin spins and makes a merry sound. Hate to say it, but I've got an otter and it's rolling just in front of the tree. I don't know if you can see the ripples there. I saw a lot of commotion like something going under the water, and it's just been rolling and rolling in this swim. And I've just put ground bait in there. Not good, is it? Not good at all. Give it a go, see if it decides to vacate the swim. I am thinking of using a stronger word than vacate the swim. But yeah, it's not great. We'll see. Bit grim that is, really. Well, good evening, chaps. Quite a few blanks at the moment. This will be my 4th trip, and hopefully I'll catch on this trip. Prior to this, I've had 3 sound blanks, not so much as a sniff. I've tried a few swims, stuck it out in a few swims, then tried on certain trips to fish 2 swims, you know, a few hours in one, a few hours in the next, but to no avail at the moment. And to be fair, some of the trips I've had what I would call nailed on and really good conditions. But apart from a few crayfish taps, I've not had a sausage. So, you know, I like to keep it real. That's why I decided to show you chaps those other short bits of video where those trips were that I blanked, because it's far too easy, you know, on YouTube to create an artificial scenario with people thinking, "Oh, he catches quite a few fish all the time and never blanks." I'm just like you guys, you know, I blank. You know, that old saying, to err is human, and rest assured, at the moment, that's certainly the case. and I thought it'd be nice to be able to show you, that I've done 3 other trips and blanked. So 4th trip, hopefully 4th time lucky. Decided to pick a very, very nondescript swim this time. It's got a kind of more or less baseline depth, quite even, no variance, and aside from a little bit of streamer weed and a light amount of cabbage patch, it's a very, very, what you might call an average looking swim, but sometimes they can work out to be pretty good. So chance my arm and roll the dice and give it a fish this evening. Got down, as you can probably tell, a little bit later than I would have liked, but gonna give it a go into the small hours and into the cover of darkness, and hopefully, as I say, it'll be 4th time lucky. Just out on the centre pin again, and Shimano Barbel power rod, just using the black snail boilies wrapped in the black snail paste and glugged in the black snail glug. Got a small tub half full with my birdseed and grilled hemp and nut ground bait mixture. So I'm going to give this, I might stick it out in this swim, I might move to a couple of other swims during this trip, see what happens. But as I say, last 3 trips prior to this, it's been really, really quiet. So fingers crossed. As I say, I'd like to be able to show you guys also the blanks as well as those red letter moments and those good trips, just to give an even balance to the channel, and just to prove, it happens to all of us. You have blanks, and it keeps your feet firm on the ground, keeps the old noggin ticking over, trying to rack your brains what swims to try and to locate where there might be groups of barbel, etc. holding up. Anyway, light's fading, let's crack on, let's get the rod set up and get a little bit of ground bait in there, and who knows, maybe it will be 4th time lucky. Morning, chaps. Saying that we're in, it's not a barbel, it tore off, and some fair old chub. That's a nice fish. Well, not going to complain at that, am I? A lovely £5 3-ounce rubber dub. Absolutely beautiful. I'd rather have it on my lighter tackle on the quiver tip, but I'm certainly not complaining. Lovely screaming bite, and went off like a steam train. I did actually think it was a barbel run at first. Yeah, really happy with this. It's a little bit camera shy, I think. It's a beautiful looking long chevin, very, very welcome. Let's draw myself back. There we go. How wonderful is that? Very pleasurable, even if it's not a barbus. Who knows, maybe there'll be some about tonight, maybe not, but I'll certainly take this. A very welcome, chunky chevin. I'll take a look at that. That isn't a sight you see every night, is it, when you're fishing? A kingfisher who's having a snooze, and I feel almost bad that I've come in this swim to set up. I might just skip it and head off further downstream, perhaps, if I've not already disturbed the little chap already. Oh, he's just waking up by the looks of it. Bless his heart. How absolutely lucky are we as anglers to see wonderful sights, be that day in daylight or night time. How absolutely precious. Absolutely wonderful. What a gorgeous bird. Well, Movers Swims has paid off. I decided to come upstream. Just had a really good take. Another nice looking chub, but not a barbel. Well, whilst it might not be the target species as such, I'll tell you one, this tore off and just had another £5 pounder. This one's £5 exactly. So 2 £5 chub this evening. Can't really complain with that, even though it is on the barbel tackle and it's not a barber's. But yeah, really happy after the run and blanks to have 2 nice, well proportioned and beautiful £5 chub. As I say, this one's 5 exactly. Lovely looking fish, beautiful blunt head, and the other was of course £5 Yeah, very happy regardless. Well, back out for another evening trip, and on my last trip it was nice to have those 2 £5 chub. Believe me, it's been slow going on the barbel front, and I've even had a few all-out blanks with no chub, no barbel whatsoever. So as I say, keeping the fire burning and always keeping confident and positive and ever optimistic, I decided to come out this particular evening. Nice and cloudy, very mild conditions and quite pleasant with a little bit of a on and off breezy southwesterly. So yeah, back out on the centre pin and low resistance leisure setup using the black snout boilies and the birdseed and grilled hemp ground bait mixture. What I've been doing on each trip is literally fishing 2 swims a trip, so doing a few hours in one swim, then the last few hours in another spot, trying to, you know, patch it together, put pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in place and work out where there are pods and pockets of barbel holding up. And that is very much a case of what you do have to tend to do on my particular waterways, as most of the anglers from my locality will tell you. But yeah, always positive and always enjoyable. But I tell you what, you know, they might have not been my intended species on that last trip, but boy was I glad to have a couple of nice, well-built, chunky chub, albeit on the barbel tackle. Fingers crossed for tonight. Got lovely conditions. Going to be fishing another new swim and then going back to one of the older swims as well and trying that, as I do think it still has more to offer. But yeah, it's been tricky, it's been tough going, that's for sure. Last, was it 5 trips or so? Been really, you know, head scratching, trying to locate where the barbel are holding up. And there is a lot of different spots to have a go at, so you know, it's a 2 kind of edged sword. You've got that selection of swims, many swims, but at the same time that does throw a almost needle in a haystack approach, in that you've got to fish each, well, not each and every swim, but fish quite a few swims and try to work out, as I say, where the fish are holding up, where they're patrolling and where they're moving into and out of. And yeah, I'm going through one of those kind of patches where it's a little bit head scratching, and you've got to, you know, stick to the plan and have confidence and keep your confidence, you know, really well buoyed and just stay positive. But yeah, as ever, always positive, just happy to be out, and I hope you guys can appreciate this video where I'm showing all the different little interludes where I've been casting out on those particular trips. I've got no other filming available because they have literally been blanks. I want to be able to portray in truth, you know, just like as I said earlier in the other section of the video, you know, portray the actual fact that as anglers we all blank. That's life. There's no set guarantees. Anyway, gonna mosey on, as I say, set up in the swim that I've got planned for the first few hours into the cover of darkness, and then eventually move into another spot. Anyway, let's move on upstream and yeah, crack on, shall we? Get a few half broken boilies in, a little bit of paste, and then drop a trickle in of ground bait. just a few balls of the hemp and birdseed ground bait, which I'm hoping I've got a nice swim here, and it does produce a bertie, but you can never tell these days. Certainly, as usual with a lot of my waterways, you're searching about for where the barbel are holding up. As I say, fingers crossed. Well, just fished to the edge of the bush on the other bank. Get the light switched off so as I don't spook the swim any more than I've had to. I do wish I could have set up a little bit with a bit more daylight, but there you go. You know, that's life. You don't always get out on time or things go to plan. But yeah, just out where the bush is. Nice lot of streamer weed either side. Hopefully a barbus will peruse the area and we'll winkle one out, and one will pick up and have a good snaffle about, and a good sift about with the birdseed, and that'll pin a spin off to the tune of a very, very invigorating and quite an adrenaline filled barbel battle. At least that's the hope anyway. Well, you have to excuse me, I pointed the camera away from the swim, turned the light down a bit as well, getting a few indications that there's fish in the swim, a few little taps and knocks, almost chub-like at the moment. But personally, you can never tell. I've had numerous barbel bites that can, you know, where barbel have, you know, played about and toyed with the bait like they are a chub and doing a chub impersonation. So we'll see. Maybe it is a decent chub, or maybe it is a barbel doing a chevin impersonation. And yeah, this is looking positive anyway. Fingers crossed. And if you can see how well you can see that there, this came in the post today. I decided to treat myself to hopefully a lucky charm, or what I'm hoping is a lucky charm, a nice pewter barbel pin or pin badge or lapel badge. Yeah, hopefully it'll bring me some luck. That will be quite special, you know, to have this come in the post and to catch a barbel. You never know. That's what I love with our hobby. You never tell. You have things like that and they just line up, and it seems like, you know, it's very fortunate and there's a kind of providence about it. But as I say, I am getting taps at the moment. There's a few hornets about in this bush behind me. It keeps buzzing and humming, so I've got to turn the camera light off because I'm liable to be probably hammered with hornets. I can hear it just as soon as the light's on. You can just hear it. I don't know if it's being picked up by the camera. There's a sound like there's Apache helicopters in this bush behind me. So anyway, crack on, and fingers crossed, hey guys, fingers crossed for a bit of barbus luck and a little bit of fortune for keeping the faith. We're into a good barbel. It's a very good fish. What looks a very good fish anyway. Ah. Jesus Christ. I have to turn the light off, I've got hornets. Sorry guys. Have to excuse me, I had a hornet fly in. I've got this running kind of love-hate battle with hornets. I tell you what, it's a nice looking fish. I tell you what, sod the hornet. Excuse my language, I'll say that until he comes back. Well, I tell you what, it's an absolute corker. Talk about keeping the faith, keeping positive. You've got no idea how happy that makes me. Come on, absolutely thrilled. Guys, oh, I'm glad I could have filmed all these different blanks that I've had and then have this fish. I'm sorry I couldn't have the light on for too long there playing it. That hornet flew in. I'm absolutely, just like that hornet is, I'm absolutely buzzing. Yes! How about that? Feast your eyes on that absolute beauty. I reckon it's a good double. It's a beautiful, long, solid, mean machine. And must apologise guys for having to turn the camera off when I was playing her, because I had a hornet there fly in and it was not happy with the camera light. Yeah, cracking fish, absolutely beautiful. Definitely a good double. Could go bigger than what my estimation is. It certainly feels like cracking fish. But yeah, let's get it on the bank and give it a nice weighing and see what she weighs and take a little look at her, shall we? She's, as you can see, as with all my fish, she's been well rested. Look at her, absolutely invigorated and, you know, fully recuperated. And that's all because I never take them out of the net straight away. You know, I give them a rest in, unhook them and then place them straight back into the water and get my camera gear ready first, so they get like a double and triple resting before they're on the bank and after they've been on the bank. Yeah, that is a beauty. Yes, feast your eyes on that. A beautiful Kennet Barbers, £12, 7 ounces. It's really filling out. What a corking fish. How beautiful is that? Lovely barbules, picture perfect, but with quite a recognisable red towel or rouge towel, and that's both sides of that towel is very rouge. Yes. Keep the faith. That's what I always say, guys. Keep the faith. Glass half full, never half empty. When it comes right, it can come right in such an amazing fashion. A very interesting fight, like a chub bite, very light. I decided to strike it straight away. And yeah, very interesting with those hornets in the swim as well. They were a bit gnarly. I had to put the camera light off there when I was playing it for the last section. I am so sorry about that, chaps. I can't risk being rapiered by a hornet. But yeah, £12, 7 ounces. How absolutely corkadorking. Just draw myself back. Happy as a sand boy. You bet you, you bet you, after all those blanks. And it's been a few, I think it's 5 or 6 blanks in total. Nice to have the chub on the recent trip, but I did have blanks where I didn't have any fish whatsoever. Black snow wrapped in the matching paste resulted in a queen of the Kennet. Look at that, how absolutely corking. Let's get it slipped back and give you a nice and very welcome kiss. I'm sorry I'm not as pretty or as powerful as you are. Beautiful. Absolutely made up, guys. So happy. Let's get your slip back. Wonderful. Well, I think she's about ready to go. So we'll say our goodbyes, methinks. So in trouble with a deepish net, the drop on the net. Makes it hard to sometimes release the fish. And away she goes. There she goes, you can just see her silhouette. She's drifting right back out into the middle where the weed beds are. Look at that. Absolutely fabulous. Well, I'm all packed up and ready to head off home. But heavens above, what a glorious way to end that run of Barbel blanks with that wonderful venue best Kennet Barbel, largest I've had from the Kennet, 12 pounds 7 ounces. Gorgeous fish with that beautiful rouge marking on the tail. And you know, it's just wonderful when, you know, things come together and parts of the jigsaw slot together and give you a way back into finding your mojo a bit. But I hope you've enjoyed all the different segments, and I know it might be a bit puzzling and quizzical. Why have I shown those trips where I commenced fishing and they were blanks? And the main reason for that is because it's very easy with YouTube videos, and some, you know, some channels do that, it does go on, and also on social media with photos and that. It's very easy to only sing when you're winning, create a false environment of, well, every time they go fishing they always catch fish, and that's not the case. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. Sometimes your mojo is missing, sometimes your lady luck, you're not getting the rub of the green. I like to think on a whole I tend to generally get the rub of the green, but as has been the case in these trips, yeah, up until now, I had a few out and out blanks with no fish, those two nice chub, and then it culminated to have this barbel. And I've been doing, you know, lots of keeping positive and also trying to work out different things during trips. That can be taking photos of swims, trying to build up a picture of each different swim, having a plan of action of what swims that I'm going to fish. And I've tried on every trip to do 2 swims, be that one old one, one new one, or 2 new ones per trip, and build up that kind of gallery of ideas regarding the topography of the riverbed, areas where fish might move in and out of, or areas where you're getting fish that might just be laying up in, areas where there's cabbage patch and heavy weed bed where fish might just be laying up under cover. But I wanted to be able to show you guys, you know, that we're all human, we blank, and I wanted to show all the blanks that I'd had. So I hope you can understand and appreciate that, because as I say, it's very easy with YouTube to create a false environment of you're always catching, and that's, I can assure you, that's not always the case. As I said earlier, we're all only human, and sometimes your watercraft eludes you, sometimes you're not getting the rub of the green, and you've got to try your hardest. But I usually keep fairly positive. Anyway, if you have enjoyed the video, and I do hope you have, do consider giving it a thumbs up and clicking that thumbs up button, and perhaps sharing it on your Facebook pages, social media, your group pages, and helping to put it out there on social media more and giving it a little bit of publicity. That would be very, very welcome, and you'll be helping me to help you to produce more vlogs and videos in doing so. So if you have enjoyed it, do consider doing that and clicking the thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed, I heartily recommend, totally unbiased of course, heartily recommend that you click the subscribe button below and the ding dong bell icon. That way you'll be kept up to date with all my future uploads, and there's a healthy back catalogue of older videos. Anyway, this tubby angler's going to float back to the car because he's so overjoyed to have had that barbus. And I hope wherever you're having a fishing trip or wetting a line, wherever you're fishing, that you're having a very enjoyable autumn. Anyway, till my next video, tight lines, and do take care guys.